What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a 10-minute haircut tutorial, so stay tuned. We started off by picking out his hair and making sure on canvas is nice and neat. Now that we're done picking out his hair, we can move on to our T outliners and create our first guideline. You always want to make sure you contour this guideline to their head shape so the fade can flow better. Always make sure to stretch the skin with your opposite hand when balding out with your trimmer so you can make it easy on them. Now that we're done balding them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You always want to make sure you make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. How much space you have in your canvas really does matter when making your bald line and how thick your guidelines are going to be, and also how much weight you're going to leave on the sides. That all matters, especially if you want to keep the fade low and keep the corners dark. Then your guidelines really do matter on how thick you make them. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. With this same guard, we're going to use the lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the half guard. When you begin softening up the guideline, it's very important to close the lever because the guard you're using to set the guidelines is always going to be larger than the guard you're using to blend out the guidelines. For example, we're making the guideline with the 1 guard all the way open, but we're gonna soften it up and then take it out with a half guard. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now we're moving on to our 2 guard all the way open and we're creating our 4th guideline. You want to flick out as much as possible when you're near the parietal ridge. It's very important, especially when you're leaving weight. And then you also want to use your comb as much as possible to either feed the hair into the clipper or lay down the hair. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 2 guard, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. And don't forget to use the lever. Now that we're done with our 2 guard and our 1.5 guard, we can move on to our clipper of a comb and we're going to begin to debulk and shape up our silhouette. This is when you start to sculpt the hair. You want to make sure you take specific measurements with your comb, especially at certain angles, because if you just chop and go ahead and chop, it's not going to look right. The hair's not going to lay down right, and also your client's going to be very mad. A lot of the times I like to saturate the hair before using clipper of a comb, but sometimes with curly hair, I just do it dry. As you can see, that line pretty much disappeared. Now we're gonna move on to our other guards and then try to remove the line completely. As you can see, I'm using my horizontal cuts to debulk as much as possible. Now that we're done creating our silhouette, we're going to saturate the hair and detangle it. This is going to prepare us for our shear work and also is going to get the hair out of his forehead so I can line him up. Now we're detailing as much as possible with our previous guards, the 1.5 guard and the 1 guard all the way open. As you can see, the fade is starting to come in really nicely, especially between the 2 guard and the 1 guard all the way open. You want to make sure you detail that line. Moving on to our NST outliners, we're going to start off at the bottom and work our way to the top arch. You want to always keep a light hand when you're lining up the C-cups. The skin is usually delicate in this area, so you could either cut them or make them irritated really quickly. Don't forget to keep this guideline consistent throughout the whole head, because then we're going to connect it to the sides. Now that we're done doing shear work on top, we're going to take our blow dryer and dry out the hair. When lining up the C-cup, you want to make sure you go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, especially when you're using the corners, because there is less teeth there, so it's harder for the hair to feed in. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now we're moving on to our NST outliners, and we're starting off in the middle, working our way to the sides. You want to make sure to go slow and make sure the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then it won't lay down and it line up properly. You also want to keep the vertical bars as natural as possible. The best thing to do before you line someone up is lay down the baby hairs and debulk them. This is so they don't flop or fly away when you're lining them up. We're going to move on to our Turkish razor and Derber premium blades. When you're using the razor, you want to stretch the skin with your opposite hand as much as possible and keep it at a 45-degree angle.